If you are looking for the best full body warm-up routine, then you have come to the right place. Hi, I'm Yasmine Say. I'm founder and owner of Say Fitness Personal Training. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more workouts like this one. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start with some foot mobility and ankle drills. This is great for if you are planning to do squats, for example, in your workout routine today. So we're going to start in this kneeling position here. As you can see, I'm sitting back on my right heel. And what I'm going to do is try and drive my knee over my toes here. So I'm going to position my body weight sort of more onto that left leg. And I'm going to start shifting my body weight forward so the knee drives directly over the toes. And I'm trying to get that nice correct alignment. I'm not trying to drop my knee out to the left or to the right here, just directly forward. And what I'm aiming to do is keeping that heel down. So I'm working into my ankle dorsiflexion, okay? So that sort of flexion where you can push off of the foot. So if you struggle with, for example, keeping your heels down in a squat, then this is the drill for you. So I would do maybe around 10 to 15 on each side. What you can also do is grab a kettlebell, for example, slightly heavier kettlebell, and then place that to increase the load onto that leg, okay? So driving that knee over, and then we go over to the other side, setting it up here, and then driving that knee over the toes. So this one would be a really good ankle drill to start off with. Obviously, take your shoes off to do this. And I would recommend also not wearing trainers when you are doing, for example, squats. I'll just do a couple more here. And then from here, coming into a seated position. And then just crossing one foot over like this. Now you can interlace your fingers through your toes. And then what you can do is draw some circles, some manual circles here. I prefer to go quite slow, going round and round, just some almost controlled articular rotations. So think of these as ankle cars, and then change direction. Might feel a few little clicks and cracks here as you do so. And then we change over to the other side. Again, interlacing. Have a bit more firm grip of that foot, going all the way around. I think a lot of the time we don't actually take care of our feet and ankles enough, and of course they form the foundations of our body. So crucial to our posture, our balance, and our range of motion when it comes to particularly lower body exercises. Okay, so that is a bit of ankle mobility to start off with, and we're going to move into our world's greatest stretch. So coming up to standing here, you're going to roll down through the spine onto the mat, finding your plank position, shoulders over wrists here. Now from here, I like to set my hips back a little bit and almost pounce forward as I bring my left foot outside of my left hand. You draw your elbow down towards the ground and then you reach up. So this is a great T-spine and hip opener here. Drawing the elbow down and then reaching up and rotate. So hence the name World's Greatest Stretch. You are really working full body mobility. So even if you have time for just doing one warm-up exercise, this would be it. Don't worry if your elbow can't reach the ground yet. Again, this is one of those key mobility exercises. It takes time, takes practice. Depends how you are coming into your workout. Have you been sitting all day, or have you been quite active all day? Your body will feel very different. So I would aim for about 10 in total of this World's Greatest Stretch. Then we're going to come into an inchworm to cobra. This is to open up the entire posterior chain. So standing nice and tall at the top of your mat, you're going to roll down through the spine, walk out into your plank, drop the knees, drop the hips, and then open up, squeezing those shoulder blades together, lifting the chest. Tuck the toes under, and then walking all the way back up to standing. I'm going to do 4 of those, 4 more. So setting up, squeezing the glutes to protect the lower back here. If you want to, you can do a little look over your left shoulder, and your right shoulder as well. Get a little bit of rotation in. But this is, a lot of these, as you can see, are very dynamic, okay? We are not holding stretches here. We are just working through these more dynamic stretches with each one. Now, if you want to take this particular dynamic stretch a little bit further, you can come into an upward dog to downward dog. So you're setting yourself into this A shape here with your body. You're going to dip down like you're diving down, opening up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then push the hips up. So you're diving down, opening up, and then pushing up. I'll do 2 more of these. This is a lot more intense and requires a little bit more flexibility and mobility here. And then pushing up. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into some shoulder dislocates. To warm up the shoulders, ideally, you need a flex band, but I'm going to demonstrate another version where you don't have the flex band at your disposal. So we're going to come up to standing here. You want to make sure, the idea, as much as it's opening up the shoulders and working your shoulder mobility, what you also want to keep in mind is how this helps your rib cage to pelvis placement. So that is the rib cage stacking perfectly over the pelvis, right? So keeping the abdominals engaged here and avoiding that flaring of the rib cage or hyperextension of the spine. So I set up the right position first by slightly tucking my tailbone under, so tucking the pelvis under into more of a posterior pelvic tilt, and then the rib cage is nicely stacked over my pelvis as I'm drawing that rib cage down and in the front of the body. I set my hands onto the flex band, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Obviously it's a flex band, so I can adjust it as necessary, bringing that band up and over my head without me arching the spine and without that rib cage flare. So I'm maintaining that nice long straight line in my body and just working the shoulders. If I deem that to be too easy, of course I bring my hands closer together. If you deem it to be too hard and the shoulders are feeling very stiff today, then you can bring the hands wider. So that's with the flex band. Of course you can use a dowel or you can use a rod. That makes it a little bit more challenging. And equally, if you don't have either bit of kit, you can use your arms. So squeezing your fists here to create some irradiation in the body, which is just tension in the body. And then again, maintaining that nice straight line, you're going to reach those arms up by the ears and then pull those arms back, really squeezing the shoulder blades together. As you rotate through that shoulder, your palms are facing away. Then you go back into shoulder extension, pull the arms up and over and down by your side. I'll do that one more time here, just as an example, bringing all the way over and then pulling all the way back, squeezing those shoulder blades and then bringing the arms down. So that's your shoulder dislocates. Moving on now to your hip 90-90. So a nice neat way of opening up those hips is our hip 90-90s. So your legs, as the name suggests, in a 90-degree position here. Now, to start off with, particularly if you have been sitting down for a long period of time today, then I would do this with yourself propped up, so your hands behind your hips. We're going to move very slowly through this exercise. I think the tendency sometimes is to move very quickly. So you're going to drop, you're going to bring that knee up towards the ceiling, pulling it open, and then the other knee follows, coming into that internal and external rotation. Then I do the same with my back knee, my right knee, pulling it up towards the ceiling, pulling it over, and then bringing it down. So I'm starting to feel where I'm particularly sticky in the internal or external rotation of the hip. If this feels quite good and the hips feel quite open, bringing your arms out in front requires a little bit more core stability here. You want to keep the spine nice and long, and then I'm bringing those knees up and over to one side and then up and over to the other side. Again, moving slowly, there's no rush here. I can definitely feel tightness in one side of the hip compared to the other. Squeezing into those fists. You end up traveling along your mat quite a bit here. And then another way of just working that external rotation, again, let's say if you are working into some squats or lunges today, you can just work on that external rotation of that back leg here. So back into that hip, with that external rotation, up and then down. I just do maybe 5 to 10 on one side and then switching over to the other side. All depends really. You can pick and choose out of any of these exercises, customize it to the workout that you're doing today. If you have 5 minutes to do a warm-up routine, or if you have slightly longer, 10 to 15 minutes. But ultimately, it should reflect the workout you are about to do. So I'm giving you an example of a full body workout that you would be doing after this warm-up routine. Good, and then from there, we're going to come into some agility drills. So this is to obviously prime your nervous system, okay, before you go into a workout. So we've done a lot of dynamic stretching, and then a couple of drills that you might like to do is feet in and out, okay? So from here, making sure your knees are nice and soft, feet are hip width apart, you're going to do 30 seconds, just waking up that nervous system, drawing your feet in and out, in and out. So I'm going to go for 30 seconds in one direction. It's a good way of getting your heart rate up as well. And of course, you can jump on a bit of cardio equipment and also do about 5 minutes, completely dependent on the time that you have. But this is a quick agility drill, 30 seconds, and then I switch direction. So it's just testing the nervous system, firing it up. Give you a couple of other examples that you can do as well. So if coordination is not your strong point, then you can switch this up. Okay, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Another agility drill you could do, again, just to get a little bit of cardio in, get your heart rate up before you get started in your workout, is you can do shuttle runs up and down your mat or wherever you're doing your workout. Or another nice one, again, if it is a lower body focused workout, is to do some squat jumps, okay? So bringing the feet slightly wider than hip width apart and then doing 10 to 20 squat jumps. Jumping high, trying to sit low into that squat as well. Getting nice range of motion. Last 3, 2, and then 1. If you enjoyed this full body warm-up routine, you might want to check out this full body mobility routine here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat soon.